Hello, today I will be talking about the zoo story and Medusa comparative and contrastive analysis, and I will be focusing on the social criticism part. So, here you can see my introduction. Let's start with what is existentialism. Existentialism is an idea that revolves around the human existence and its meaning. The thinkers of existentialism try to find meaning in the such as purpose and value of human existence. It has occurred in the 20th century. It can be thought as the analogy of Romanticism, which had occurred in the 19th century. They are similar to each other because both movements claims that human can contemplate the truth, the deceptive sides of life by thinking and acting. However, the existentialism is different because it focuses on individual, while romanticism sees human as a part of a picture, wider aspect. Also, existentialism sees suffering as something inevitable. The reason is that in the 20th century, there was World War II, which led horrific times to have happened. In my opinion, people try to find out the value of life when they are about to lose it. Most of the people had have some hardships during the World War because there has been poverty and the economy was collapsed. People needed something to hold on, but as they think and experience, they had found that the suffering was inevitable. And as individuals, we all experience pain differently. These differences lead us to different themes of the existentialism, and these are, you can see, importance of the individual, importance of choice, anxiety regarding life and death, meaning and absurdity, authenticity, responsibility, social criticism, and lastly, importance of personal relations. The sixth item will be discussed by comparing and contrasting the Zooster and the Medusa. According to existentialists, social norms are ways to oppress and fear ignorance towards different and vulnerable people situations. People may construct these norms to protect what they have, also not to be harmed by the things they feel fearful. Both Jerry and Medusa have been pressured by the norms of the society, and Medusa disadvantages in terms of being a woman, while Jerry is a lower class man and homosexual. It can be said that both cannot give meaning to these norms. So it can be clearly stated that Medusa and Jerry feel uneasy about the social norms of the society because they are the members of the minority in their community. Medusa is a woman and Jerry is homosexual and member of the lower class. Even though, as it is stated above, both have the similar problems, they deal with them differently. While Medusa chooses to kill, harm the standards, Jerry chooses to kill himself because they cannot give any meaning or purpose to maintain their identities, roles created by the society. Firstly, Medusa says that I stared at a dragon. Fire spewed from the mouth of a mountain. While Jerry says, the dog, I think I told you, is a black monster of beast, an oversized head, tiny ears and eyes, bloodshot, infected maybe, and the body you can see the ribs through the skin. He tries to poison the dog. Then he keeps saying that, well, anyway, the dog recovered. I have no idea why, unless he was the descendant of the puppy that guarded the gates of hell or some such resort. I am not up on my mythology. It can be clearly understood that for both of them, these animals have important meanings. They reflect their feelings on animals. While it is a sign of strength for Medusa, Jerry was trying to kill it. However, We cannot ignore that both of these animals signify strong feelings for them. While Medusa had accepted the dragon as a part of her, Jerry was feeling uneasy about the dog because he couldn't beat him. He was beaten. These reflections are caused by the societal norms, and the pressure made by the society have had some impacts on them. While Medusa was getting stronger, Jerry felt weak. Secondly, Medusa says that I stared in the mirror while Jerry kills himself. Both have attempted to kill themselves because in their journey they couldn't give meaning what they have been experiencing. While it was just an attempt for Medusa, Jerry killed himself in real sense. Medusa have decided to stay and fight against the people who construct these ideas while Jerry becomes the victim of them. However, at least we can see that both could reach a conclusion and found their way. While Medusa gave up killing herself, Jerry could connect to a person just before he dies, because in an absurd world in which he felt alone, he was dying to connect in the literal meaning, yes. And thirdly, Medusa asks that, wasn't I beautiful? Wasn't I fragrant and young? Look at me now. Then Jerry confesses his sexual identity by saying that I was a homosexual. I mean, I was queer, with bells ringing, banners snapping in the wind. And for those 11 days, I met at least twice a day with the park superintendent's son, a Greek boy whose birthday was the same as mine, except he was a year older. I think I was very much in love, maybe just with sex, but that was a jazz of a very special hotel, wasn't it? And now, oh, do I love the little ladies? Really, I love them for about an hour. It can be seen that in some way they both criticize society, while Medusa does it by asking questions and rebellion. Jerry does it with his confession. Both have been pressured by the standards of the society they couldn't get to understand. Medusa was the victim of the male dominance, unrealistic beauty standards, whereas Jerry was the victim of the toxic masculinity. Both had tried to search meanings, while Medusa was searching for meaning and asking questions such as, wasn't I beautiful? Wasn't I fragrant and young? Jerry chose to oppress his homosexual identity. In the end, it can be seen that Medusa dares to say, look at me now, to society. Jerry just confesses his identity through a weak connection with a stranger. In conclusion, it can be seen that Medusa and Jerry fought against the social norms of the society. They were trying to make sense of the world. Medusa was the representation of the male dominance and unrealistic standards of the society, and Jerry had to oppress his identity and suffered because of his social status. They have been asking and searching for answers. Jerry didn't want to die alone. He wants to have connection with a human being before killing himself. Medusa has the same inner instinct too, because she was trying to connect by asking questions, as well as being lost as a common point. They differ in the end. Jerry has chosen to kill himself, while Medusa has chosen to stay and harm these standards, because in an absurd world, these standards do not matter because they do not have any purpose. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening to me.